Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. Today we're working on the ZR-1. We are now up to $4.26 worth of change that I've found in the ZR-1. And I know there's more in there. I just got to get to it. The car is back from Premier Performance, where I took it to get some help with the transmission fill and drain plugs. As you can see from those opening clips and clips I've shared in other videos, they always have cool stuff in their parking lot. But good news, guys, they were able to get the fill and drain plugs out of the transmission and change the fluid. I also had them change the differential fluid as well. In order for them to get the drain and fill plugs out of the transmission, they had to do a thing. As you guys know, in the last ZR-1 video, I was trying to remove the fill plug so I could change the fluid. And I tried many different things and wasn't able to get it out. At that time, I hadn't even tried to remove the drain plug. I took the car to Premier Performance to get some help, and they weren't able to remove either of the plugs. They actually took me back into the shop and showed me what was going on, and the mechanic had a butane torch that he was using to heat up the plugs. He had breaker bars, he had a 1/2-inch drive impact gun, and nothing was working. So ultimately, they recommended that they weld the hex sockets to the plugs, and that should heat them up enough to get them to come out. And it worked. So there's no way I could have done this myself with the tools I have in my garage with the car on jack stands. Before they welded the sockets on, they did give me a disclaimer that doing so may crack the casing of the transmission, which caused my pucker factor to go up a little bit, but I didn't really have a choice and gave them the go ahead, and they did a really good job getting the plugs out. Before I dropped the car off, I did buy 2 new plugs from Volkswagen, believe it or not. As many of you know, the ZF transmission is German, and I assume that Volkswagen uses a lot of ZF components in their cars. And I learned that you can find these at Volkswagen from a couple of the Corvette forums. So I called my local Volkswagen dealership. They did have to order them in, but they arrived within a few days, and they only cost about $7 or $8 a piece. So there you go. If any of you need a new plug or two for your ZF manual transmission in your C4, go to Volkswagen. The mechanic said the fluids were pretty bad, so it's a good thing we got them changed. And just an FYI, for the transmission, I used the AMSOIL Synchro Mesh fluid, and for the differential, I used the AMSOIL gear oil. So mission accomplished. The first thing we're gonna do today is try and fix this rocker panel, which is just kind of flopping around in the doorway. These rocker panels are held in with Torx screws that screw into these little plastic pieces. I don't even know what to call them, but I found these on eBay, and that's what holds the rocker in place. So you can see that opening right there. That's where the plastic piece fits into, and then you just screw in the screw. So the old one I had broke, and that's what's causing this to flop around and not be stable. So we're gonna install a new plastic piece and put the screw in, and hopefully it fixes the issue. There we go. Next on the list is wiper blades. I picked up these Trico wiper blades from Amazon. Part number is 20-2. It seems like this is a pretty common go-to wiper blade for C4s based on a lot of posts out in the Corvette forums. I don't know when the wiper blades on the car were last changed, and they don't work very well, so we're gonna put these new ones on. C4 Corvettes take a 20-inch blade, you know, kind of like 20-inch blades on the Impala. I'll stop. And I just noticed that the blade that's currently on the car is about 18 inches. Anyway, I'll get these new ones on and we'll see how they work. All right, new wiper blades are on. I'm gonna shut the hood to make sure they tuck up underneath nicely, and then we'll test them out. All right, these work much better, and as you can see, they tuck up underneath the hood nicely. Next on the list is the fuel filter. I picked up this AC Delco filter from AutoZone. As you can see, it's AC Delco part number GF952, which should work on this car. I have no idea when the fuel filter was changed last, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. I've got the car up on jacks in jack stands, and the fuel filter is right there. The first thing I'm gonna do is remove this 10mm bolt that holds the fuel filter clamp in place. Now I'm just gonna pull the clamp towards me and get it out of the way. Like that. And it looks like this was last changed in June of 2017, which was 4 years ago, so it's probably due. All right, so it's pretty tight quarters under here. I'm not gonna be able to get my tools and hands and arms up under here and film at the same time. So I'm just gonna explain to you guys what I'm gonna do, which is put a crescent wrench right here on the fuel filter, and then a 5/8 inch wrench right here on the fuel line, and then just break the fuel line loose, and then it should just screw out. And you know, I'm gonna obviously have some rags ready to catch the fuel that drips out, because it will, and you know, I'm gonna be ready to put the new one in quickly. So it's not too difficult. Just make sure you've got everything ready to go so you can do it quickly. That way not a lot of fuel gets all over you or the ground. Okay, old one is out, new one is in, and I smell like gas pretty bad. Safety first. Here's a look at the new one installed. The gas line fitting towards the front of the car was barely finger tight, which is no bueno. So glad I found that. And now I'll just be sure to watch for leaks to make sure I got everything on there tight. The clamp is back on. Everything is buttoned up under here, and the car is ready to come down. I just turned the key to the on position a couple times to prime the fuel system, and it looks like we do not have any leaks. I'm sure most of you guys know this, but for those who don't, just make sure that there is no fuel pressure in the system when you go to change your fuel filter. The last thing we're gonna do in this video is take out the air intake and make sure there's no obstructions, make sure everything looks as it should, and we are gonna replace the air filter with a K&N air filter. First step is to loosen the clamp and then remove the two outside hold downs. All right, and it should just come right out. There we go. I don't see anything weird going on down in here, and nothing weird up under here. Part of me was expecting to find a bunch of leaves, but I'm not seeing any. So that's good. We should have good airflow. I do need to fix this at some point. To get the filter out, I'm just gonna remove this last hold down. And there it is. Looks a little old and dirty. Yeah, there's lots of good stuff in the folds of the filter, so we're just gonna put that right there. And I'm gonna clean all this up and get ready for the K&N. I got everything all clean. I just took the pieces out back, sprayed them down with a hose, and then wiped them off. And now I'm ready to install these gasket pieces that go on this intake housing, I guess to provide a little bit better of an air seal. I've never seen this before, but it came with the filter. So we're gonna put it in place like that. These gasket pieces have adhesive on the back, so I just gotta peel off this backing, and then I should be able to just stick them on. I got the seal on, and it feels like it's firmly in place, which is good. Now the directions say to install this grease on the seal. And apparently the grease is high temperature grease that seals against air leaks and prevents dirt intake. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. Okay guys, I got the grease on. I just applied a bead all the way around and then smeared the grease all around with my finger, just to make sure it covers the entire surface of the seal. So now we're ready to put everything back together. All right, all done. You can see the new filter in there. Everything went back together nicely. Sometimes you do have to do a little bit of finagling, but it's not too bad. So everything's ready to go back in the car. Just a quick note, I was calling these hold downs, but apparently they're called thumb screws. So FYI, and whatever. Okay guys, everything is buttoned up, and that's gonna do it for this video. I wanna thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping that in the next ZR-1 mods and repairs video, we can tackle the number 8 spark plug issue. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and take care guys. I'll see you in the next one.